My name is Bobby Srivastav, and welcome to our Unique Voices of Tech podcast. I am so fortunate to do this like in the same room with Iris today. So, my guest today is Iris Cole. So, Iris would love for you to give us an introduction and a little bit about your background.
Thanks so much, Bobby, for having me. I'm excited to be here with you today. So, my name is Iris Cole. Um, I am a social entrepreneur and founder and CEO of a company called Do Good Artist and another company called She Raises the Bar. And She Raises the Bar is a corporate social responsibility and sustainability consulting firm. So, we work with organizations on just making sure that they're social, environmental investments are really driving bottom line for them and great impact in their communities in which they serve. So, but Do Good Artist is a company that I started about 4 years ago. Its focus is really helping to intersect the arts and the creative sector with other sectors for social impact work. So we create initiatives, products, etc., that are driving social impact in communities, and we do that through self-incubated projects, and we do that also through by working with companies that really want to innovate in how they're doing that work.
Awesome. So, tell us about the why. Why do you feel that is so important?
Um, I'll share just a little bit about my journey in starting Do Good Artists, which is to say that many, many moons ago, I wasn't, well, I still am an artist and I'm a trained artist. And I just found that the creative sector and the arts have particular capacity for empathy building. They have particular capacity to generate dialogue and obviously innovation. Innovation requires creativity. And so I felt that they had a larger role to play um, in in making change in the world, and I wanted to do that in a way that was extremely and highly innovative and different, connecting perhaps with the tech sector as one of those really, really critical intersections. The technology sector is one that is really, really growing quickly, particularly the gaming industry. Is one that is just, it's growing by leaps and bounds. And it requires a lot of artistic input to create those experiences, whether that's storytelling or creating characters and illustrating and graphic design, music, composition. It requires a lot of artistic skill sets. So um, anyway, that's sort of the why behind the company.
And what would you say is like your value proposition in the market?
I think our value proposition in the market is that we can really help companies find innovative and engaging ways of driving their CSR, of driving uh, change in their communities and investing in their communities.
Yeah, and today we're actually at Flywheel, and both of us are on the board, and we've got very good perspective of what we want to do locally, and what you guys are doing is at a different level, which is awesome. So I've got a couple more questions. So one question is, what advice would you give to a fellow entrepreneur or a startup? That's my first question. And then the second, and if you can also talk about what advice would you give to a potential customer of yours?
Yeah. So, advice that I would give an entrepreneur is I think that it is really, really, really important to listen. To be strong in your convictions about your product, but to listen to your customer. and really hear them and integrate their feedback in your product development. I think that is just really, really key, and that design thinking is really key. The other thing that I would really sort of hone in on is that, you're not alone. You're not alone in this journey, and there are people and there are organizations that can come around you and really help support your vision. In terms of what I would suggest for a customer, for me, what I guess the advice I would give my customer is that you can really be driving, so you can drive a lot of additional value, by investing in your CSR, in your communities, and you can do it in a way that is really driving your bottom line. And so there are people also out there that are really providing creative ways of doing that.
And CSR, for the audience that may not know the
Yeah.
acronym.
So CSR is corporate social responsibility, and it's an effort by companies to really think about how they are impacting their stakeholders. How are they impacting their employees, whether that's through diversity, equity, and inclusion, or how are they impacting the needs of their communities and their constituencies? How are they making sure that they are addressing all of the stakeholders that they have from a risk perspective and opportunity perspective?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of entrepreneurs and startup founders, whether you're an early stage scale up, these types of elements are so important in your business, and to come in with that mindset or a path forward, just it's going to make you a better company.
And I know we had talked a little bit, Bobby, about some of the products that we've been working on and what this might look like. We create animations and virtual reality experiences using technology, the latest technologies available, to create experiences that really drive these types of impacts. So a virtual reality experience that we created on human trafficking a couple of years ago, we just heard this past week that we are a selection for the Cannes World Film Festival.
Wow.
Which is really, really exciting. But that product is creating awareness. It is educating about this global issue, which affects company supply chains, which affects outcomes in communities, and it's really it will move the needle on this issue through the use of virtual reality.
Yeah. So what is your one big ask?
My one big ask is that companies, whether they are startups or whether they are global corporations, is that they really take a hard look at innovating in this space, because it's good for them and it's good for the communities in which they serve.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Iris. And if folks want to reach out to Iris, look her up on LinkedIn. Is there another way that they can reach to you?
Sure. They can visit dogoodartists.com and get in touch with us there as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Iris. And guys, until next time, thank you.